What's happening, guys? We're back. We're in the most photographed alley in the world here in Long Beach. We're back with another one of my new bikes. This one I'm calling the OG, the old gold. This is a long-term project that finally I got finished. It just kept getting backburnered and backburnered and backburnered for a really long time. But just this summer, beginning of the summer, I finished it up. And we're gonna do a little walk around video and explain what it is and what it's about and how it came to be. And so first thing, this bike is basically just a parts pile. This is a long-term project that I've been collecting parts for this bike for damn near 10 years. Obviously could have got it finished a lot sooner than that, but you know how things go. Go back to all the other walk around videos of my bikes. That's why this took 10 years, because those bikes got finished in the meantime. Anyway, long story short, found this frame at Long Beach swap meet. Like, I know it sounds cliche, but I think I paid $100, $150 maybe. It's a Shovelhead front half, looks like a pan head back half welded on. Generator shovel motor, pan shovel. It's a 53, pan head bottom end. Obviously Shovelhead top end. The wheel setup is 18/21. This is an 18-inch XLCR rear mag that I picked up in Davenport a long time ago. And that's the rarest wheel on earth. It's a 21-inch PM cast 7-spoke. Yeah, so that's an OG one, that's an original one. Doherty machine trees, 35 millimeter. I found these as is, fully engraved like this. Then we have a set of 8-inch GMA aluminum risers and a matching engraved top clamp. This was actually brand new. This was actually brand new. This was actually brand new. I'm kind of just letting this stuff age down a little bit. I kind of want it to look all the right look. These are obviously a little more aged. The bar setup is like, I don't know where these, I found these at the antique meet. They're sort of an older style Sportster bar. Not a Laconia bar, but like a early 50s K model style handlebar perhaps. I'm not 100% sold on them. I may change them, I'm not really sure yet. PM controls, obviously, BT&E throttle. The levers I shaved down because I found these really cool little rubber sleeves, and shaved this all down so that would fit on there. Headlight visor, again, gold plated, found as is. If you really want to get tricky, the actual visor that's underneath of the gold plated one is also gold plated. I got the WP steering damper on this side. If you know, you know. Had to add the mount for this and do some other shit. So the engine, this started with a set of blown up cases and got turned into this. So basically, the engine is 74 cubic inch. I didn't want to go crazy on this engine. I didn't want to have a bike that was hard to start. It's kick only. I've wrecked myself on my other stroker kicker bikes, and to be honest, I'm over it. So 74 inch. It was gonna have a generator, regular 8-rib gold-plated cam cover, a knucklehead cam cover. Somewhere through the build, I decided I got this cam cover and changed my mind. So, cases back apart. Let's redo the flywheels. Let's do all this other shit. So it is a spooth cam cover that was smooth. When I got it, it was smooth. I ball milled these lines in and had it gold plated because I found these boxes that had the ball mills in them, but were not gold plated. So gold plated both of those. We dual plug the heads simply for the fact that I have an ignition in here and an ignition in here. And then I have 2 coils. So essentially what's gonna happen, I'm gonna switch this back to a tack drive points distributor, and I'll have an electronic and points. And if one breaks, switch to the other. So you can just switch between the 2 coils. Ideally, originally I wanted it to have 2 coils firing at the same time with both ignitions firing at the same time. So yeah, the motor's basically stockish. It's got like half a point higher compression probably. N cam in this? Andrews N? I don't remember, to be honest. Really not too much special. I mean, we did dual plug the heads just simply for the fact that I'm running the 2 ignitions. Right now I have this S&S style carburetor on here because I do have a set of Mikuni smoothbore 29s that are black and gold plated that will be going back on this once a little more of like the break-in and just getting it like, still trying to figure out like, you know, it takes a little while to get used to your bike. Like, does it like 2 prime kicks? Does it like no prime? Does it like the choke on, choke off? All this stuff takes a little time. So I'm still figuring out what the bike likes before I go switch into a more delicate or intricate set of carbs. This is the easy way. Transmission is, you know, built from scratch, 4-speed case, obviously, ART, hydraulic kicker cover. That's an East Coast, you know, big up ART. Got this gold plated. What else? The FX style mid controls. Someone reached out to me and they actually had a gold plated set. So boom, there it is. These are later Arlen Ness pegs minus the rubber pieces, and they were like this long. I turned them down. Funky cool aluminum made in USA kicker pedal. I don't know where it came from, swap meet somewhere. I got a Grimeca rear master, again, found piece here. I got an oil cooler, finned little cast oil cooler deal, oil filter mount down there. Aluminum horseshoe oil tank. This, again, another swap meet piece. This came from my buddy Hutch. Really cool generator. If you look at that thing, it's billet ends and stuff, and the center's painted, but it's a really cool generator that, you know, we basically rebuilt from scratch. I have a cast oil cooler up front that I modified to fit between the frame rails there. It's mounted to the actual skid plate. On this side, Mirage kickstand. People don't know about that. This, you know, this was a very, very, very last minute, like actually the last minute. I built this right before taking it to Born Free this year. I've done very similar things in the past with louvered belt guards, or AKA like foot rests and foot stanchions and stuff. This literally, I just didn't like seeing the belt and the gap between the engine and the front pulley, so I just whipped that up like super quick. It is what it is. I'm just keeping it like that. Gold-plated top motor mount, again, found piece. You know, this whole 2 ignition thing just kind of happened because I had the right parts. I had this coil mount. It mounts right to the frame. I modified it to have a brake. Normally they stick straight out. So I cut it and kind of wrapped it around the oil tank. The 4-speed clutch, this is like a BDL, or no, stock 5-stud, not stock's not 5-stud, but 5-stud 4-speed clutch with a BDL belt drive. And this is a Sifton one. I've just had this. I get the Sugar Baby Cycles one. It's a lot cooler. These are just little foot pegs that I added on for passenger deal. I mean, I literally went through all my shitty foot pegs and found the ones that were the most worn down that I had. Made some crazy spacers for to get the chain line. This was actually an NOS Wassel fender that I used on this. The Mastercraft taillight with a custom lens. Andy Pangea, Andy from the other videos, he made that for me. The sissy bar is stainless, and I don't know, it was like this tall when I got it. I cut it into like 4 pieces and actually just kind of remade the whole thing, but I kind of wanted it sort of shitty like that. PM rear caliper, Grimeca rear master. Even this brake stay I found like that and made the mounts to be able to use all that. You know, a lot of this is like fabricating parts to be able to use this old part with that old part and make it all look the right way. That being said, the thunder header that's on it is actually made from scratch. I've done this in the past and with other bikes. Like, thunder header does make a Shovelhead exhaust, but not for a generator. They only make them for cone motors. And so yeah, I basically made these head pipes and did the whole thing. Yeah, made it, made my own thunder header again. Shout out thunder header. And just by looking at this, if you know what's up with bikes and older choppers and stuff, this is sort of like, my strike zone for what kind of bikes I like Frisco style choppers, 70s into early 80s, mid 80s, like that kind of run some performance stuff. And that's kind of what I'm going for, mag wheels, cool brakes, San Francisco saxophone, Frisco mounted tank, all that. But one of the main, I'd say, key features with this bike is the gas tank. And this whole thing started with, basically, I have a row of gas tanks, several rows of gas tanks that I like. All of them super cool. All of them theoretically could be their own bike. But I don't have enough time for all that. So I said, let me make one bike that can accommodate all the cool gas tanks that I've collected. I know they're all going to be Sportster tanks. I know they're all going to be Frisco mounted, but if you know Sportster tanks, a Hummer tank or an early Sportster tank is different than a late model Sportster tank, like a 90s era one that has the rubber bushings. The tunnel's different. The rear mounts are in a different spot. So what I did is I modified this frame and this front motor mount to basically, when you Frisco a tank with a high tunnel like this, you can see down the front, and that's a pet peeve of mine. I don't like it. So I made this little sort of tombstone shaped piece here that allows any Sportster tank to mount here. And this happens to be a later Sportster tank, 90s up to rubber mount, that has these rubber bushings. So it's wider. The tunnel's actually a bit wider. So when you take this tank off, this inner piece here also comes off and then allows you to run the early style tank, which lines up with this inner little tombstone right here. So you can switch between the two tanks easily whenever you want. The same thing on the rear of the frame. I put 2 sets of tank mounts in the backbone. So literally if I were to go to another swap meet this weekend and find a really cool Sportster tank, I could literally buy it and put it on here without having to modify any of the mounts. It all goes on here. And originally, I was kind of playing with this idea of I'm gonna change this every month. I got 13 tanks. This was the first tank that I chose. I don't know, it worked really well with this whole deal. But I've got a whole slew of tanks that actually will work with this, because that was, again, the point. Black, gold, and silver, it's sort of a neutral, I don't have red and then have a blue tank. It's not going to match. The gold, the silver, and the black kind of lends itself to any tank that I put on it. So that's why I did specifically this color palette. I mean, besides the fact that I like it. But yeah, it was all sort of thought out, long-term plan. But yeah, this tank actually will probably be coming off pretty soon. Now that it's getting into fall, winter, I feel like maybe this bike should have a more, a different color that sort of matches the seasons, perhaps. So that'll happen. I've got a whole slew of cool gas caps. I've got a whole slew of cool petcocks. Each one will just pop right on and be good. But yeah, there's a couple. Oh, the seat. The seat made from scratch. That's real leather, made a seat pan. Victor, the seat guy in Santa Ana, he did the seat for me. But yeah, it's pretty good. I'm running the rear fender mount and oil tank mount is also Pangea speed. That's probably the only new part I have on this bike, like new that you could order right now, is the rear transmission mount. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, you know, banjo fitting, oil tank lines. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. You know, again, there's some things I'm probably going to change as I go, as I spend more time with the bike, figure out what it likes, what I like, what I don't like. Yeah, hopefully you get it. Hopefully you like it. If you don't, well, that's fine too, because it's my bike.